Take two, guys, because I was rambling like crazy just a second ago. I'm not going to put you through that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited you're here as I bring you my reformulation of my tallow balm. You guys may or may not have seen a video from a couple years ago where I shared my love-hate relationship that I have with this balm. I think I finally figured it out. So honestly, getting the consistency just right has been my biggest struggle. It is definitely worth the struggle and the fight. And it has probably been my all-time favorite thing that I've ever formulated. You guys know I'm not a strong formulator. It is not something that comes easy to me, and clearly 9 years later, customers absolutely adore it. Tallow is wonderful for the face, and I feel so proud that I have a product that is so good for all skin types. I think that I really did dial this down. And if you might be wondering, well, what's changed? I've added a few ingredients, and yes, I cannot leave well enough alone. The ingredients I added, I think, help the overall feel and the overall stability. The first thing I added was some pumpkinseed oil. It's really rich in nutrients, so it's great for your face. I added some arrowroot powder, and that really has helped with just the overall, a little bit of heaviness that the product had before. And lastly, what I would consider the secret weapon for getting me over the hump of my consistency woes is cetearyl alcohol. Don't let the alcohol fool you. If you're new to being a maker, cetearyl alcohol along with cetyl alcohol, it is a fatty alcohol. It's not drying at all. A really smooth and creamy consistency is what that will give. See on the other side of making this wonderful tallow balm. Okay guys, so right in here I do have my tallow already cut up and measured out. I did get it from an Etsy shop, Fanny and Flo. They don't sell this anymore. They sell already whipped tallow, which is not what I'm looking for, so I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to get this from here on out. Leaf tallow is the tallow that is like in the belly of the cow. If you don't know, I didn't mention this, tallow is beef fat, guys. The belly fat all around the organs, that's called leaf, if I'm not mistaken, and that is the higher value beef fat. I want to make sure that what my tallow is that leaf fat. I'm going to go ahead and get my beeswax in here. It's just a raw beeswax I got from a local beekeeper. The beeswax is quite difficult to melt, so I am going to just melt these two on their own before I add any of the other liquid oils. And I am just going to do this in the microwave, but I'm just going to do like 20 to 30 second bursts from the beginning, and then I'll slowly, just do 5 or 10 seconds. I'm not going to get this over hot. It's getting there. That darn beeswax takes forever. But I realized I probably need to get my cetearyl alcohol in here. And so this is my thickener, and it stabilizes this. I'm going to consider it a butter because there's no oil in it or water in it. I mean, there's a fair amount of it in here. What is it? A little over 10%. That's quite high, but it needs the stability and it needs the thickness that this is giving. So now that I have that in here, I'm going to get that back in the microwave. Alright guys, so let's talk a little bit about tallow. I don't know if you have all heard about how great tallow is for your skin. It is very nourishing. You would maybe think that this would be a horrible product for oily skin complexion, but it's really not. It's actually a really good product for that oily skin. I used to have a customer, she moved away, but she would buy it all the time, and she had really oily skin on her face and she loved it. Tallow has lipids that are naturally found in really youthful, our skin when it was really young and youthful and tight and lovely and all of the good stuff that skin is when you're young. It's in there. And so when we put that on our face or on our skin, it really is helping bring those back to our skin. It's also quite regenerative. It helps regenerate the skin and the skin cells. And I think that's one of the reasons why this makes such a great balm of sorts for chafing, sunburns. We use it for sunburns all the time. Diaper creams, all of these things, tallow is really, really good for those. So if you are a maker and you don't have a tallow in your line, if you're okay with non-vegan, I say go for it because it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to stir this little heart of a beeswax in here. It's only 148, and I think, I may be wrong, but I think beeswax needs to get close to that 160 to getting all of it melted. I think it has to get like 160 or 165. If you know, let me know. But I think one of you all had told me that. But I'm just going to stir it for a second and see if I can get some of this melted. So beeswax helps seal in moisture, but it doesn't suffocate the skin at all. It's really good for your skin, actually. And it protects your skin quite nicely. I'm going to put this back in there. Most of that heart is mostly broken up, so maybe just another 30-second blast in the microwave. Y'all don't be hating on me for using the microwave either, do you? You know, I'm doing me. I'm using the microwave this time. Kind of like BTMS. I can't get that to melt in a water bath. We're at 167. I still have like 3 or 4 little beeswax chunks. They're small. I'm just going to stir and let it melt on its own at this point and see if I can get those to melt completely. I think 167 is plenty hot enough. So while I'm waiting for that last 3 now chunks of beeswax to melt, we're going to start putting our liquid, if I can, heavens, there we go, our liquid oils into our KitchenAid I have on the scale here. And we're going to start with pumpkin seed oil. I do get this from Soaper's Choice. Somebody from another country, I cannot remember, was talking about how crazy expensive it is in their country to buy pumpkin seed oil. Good night. It was scary, guys. I get mine from Soaper's Choice. It's really not that expensive, comparatively speaking. One of the reasons I wanted to use the pumpkin seed oil, because I had so much of it, I don't make the body butters as much as I used to. I haven't stopped making them, but I just don't make the big batches that I used to. I find that they don't sell quite as well. And I'll link that up above if you haven't seen that video. It's my most popular video, so a lot of you may have already seen it because I think I gained a lot of subscribers from that video. But I have the recipe for it and everything like that. Look how gorgeous that is. It's wonderful. So pumpkin seed oil, one of the reasons I use it in my body butter is how quickly it absorbs into the skin. It does not leave a greasy feeling. It's very high in vitamins and mineral. It has a really high content of those. And it's just really nourishing. It's a lovely, lovely oil. And it does tint my tallow to have this just green hue. Not really green, but it does come through a little bit. So I love that about it. I'm down to 2 chunks. All right, so Abyssinian oil is next. So it's good for all skin types, and it's great for breakouts as well. All right, and then jojoba oil is next. So this absorbs well too. That's important when you're making a product that doesn't have water in it. Try to choose oils or butters that are quite quick absorbing. So avocado oil, which I love, really will kind of sit on your skin. It doesn't absorb quite as well as I would want in a product that is actually non-water to help it with that. So jojoba oil, it does absorb very nicely. It's actually a wax as well. You may know that by now, but some of you may not. Jojoba oil is most similar to the makeup of our own skin. It mimics the sebum that we have in our skin. That's why you'll find this in a lot of face products. It also will regulate oil production as well. I ain't gonna lie, there's some expensive oils in here. It's not a cheap thing to do because I do choose more of the expensive oils. And I did that because I originally formulated this for a face. All right, where are we at? You know what? I forgot my mango butter, and that needs to be melted as well. So let me get this back on here. So mango butter will tighten and firm your skin. It's very moisturizing. I don't put a lot in here. couple little pieces here. I went and got my mango butter from Wholesale Supplies Plus this last time. I found that I wasn't going through it as quickly as I would have liked, getting it in the 10-pound boxes from Soaper's Choice. But then I kind of regret it because it was a lot more reasonably priced there. I'm going to put this in the microwave for another 10 or 15 seconds, maybe 20, just to kind of melt that. I still have a few little beeswax pieces. So I got that back up a little bit, and I'm just, again, stirring. There's just a couple stubborn little pieces in here that's not wanting to melt. So one of the things I used to do was put a freshly melted batch in the freezer or the fridge. I have since learned that you really shouldn't do that. Okay, we're melted, and I am pouring this into my big bowl. Now this may be okay just because I'm pouring the hot into the cold, so the whole batter itself isn't going to be too hot. But you don't want to put steaming bowls of product into the refrigerator where steam is going to come off of it, and then condensation is going to fall back in, and you're getting water in your product. So as you can see, it's on the sides. It's getting a little cold on the sides. I'm just bringing that into the mixture so that it melts back in, and I can make sure this is good and mixed up. Let me see, the temperature of it now is 100 degrees. Not too shabby. I actually did not end up putting this in the refrigerator. You know, it was getting cold so fast. I just kind of left it to the side of me, and every once in a while I would give it a stir. Almost room temperature. I'm going to go ahead and get my other ingredients in here, my cool down ingredients, so that it gets mixed in well. I just like doing that when it's a little bit thinner. Let me grab my notes so I remember what everything is for. So in here I do have my vitamin E, and that is an antioxidant. It'll help just keep the oils and butters from going rancid as quickly. And it's also great for your skin. I have my Optiphen preservative in here as well. And then my essential oil blends. The scent of my tallow is actually quite sweet this time. And I think it's pretty normal for the scent of your tallow to be a little bit different every time you buy it or process it down. Every cow is different. Their diet is always different. So the scent may come through a bit differently. One of the things I wanted to do when I first started formulating this is kind of hide the beef smell I was getting when I was processing my own tallow down. Some of these essential oils I used for the smell, and some of them I used for just what they bring to the face product. Frankincense, it has antibacterial properties, it has anti-inflammatory properties, it is a natural toner, and it helps even out your skin tone. Allegedly. I make no claims when I'm doing this. I'm just telling you guys. I don't put any of this on any of my stuff. Myrrh is quite expensive. As you can see, I just bought like a 15 ml bottle. But this is great for anti-aging skin. It is good for firmness. It decreases the appearance of fine lines. It's good for elasticity. So this was really good for skin and face. So that's why I chose that. I added some lavender, mostly for the scent, but it also does a good job of rejuvenating your skin cells. And I chose Ylang Ylang, more fragrance driven than skin driven, but the Ylang Ylang will also control oil production. So they all have something good for your skin. But those last two were specifically chosen mostly for the scent. So all of that is in here. I'm going to pour it all in. Stir it up, and now I am going to put it in the refrigerator because I do need to get this nice and firm so that I can start whipping it and whipping some air into this product. Alrighty guys, 10-15 minutes in the fridge. Let's see. I mean, oh, it's nice. It's a little soft on the inside. But this is exactly what you want because it's not so thick on the outside edge that we won't be able to get it off. I have had that happen before. So let's get some air whipped in and see. I'm sure I'll have to get it back in the refrigerator before we're all said and done. I absolutely love the color that this gives. I think it's such a pretty color. That is thanks to the pumpkin seed oil. Clearly, I don't know if you can see because I don't know if my camera's up high enough. It's just too loose still, but that's all right. Doing it this soon keeps that edge from getting too thick. It incorporates everything nicely while it's getting thicker. So although, you know, at one point I thought, gosh darn it, I'm wasting my time. You're really not wasting your time when you do it and it's this thin. Because in the long run, it's going to be very well mixed in. I brought the camera up a little bit. Hopefully you can see a little bit better at this point. I've had it in the fridge. I've maybe whipped it twice since I last left you. No real changes in any of it. But this last time I actually got busy upstairs and it's probably been, I don't know, a good 30 minutes in the fridge. So it looks really good. It looks really like good consistency to get some air whipped into it. Hopefully the heat of the, you know, friction won't get it too soft. You get this fine line between trying to get air whipped into it and it loosening it back up when you whip it like this. So it loosened it back up, which is fine. For now, guys, I am going to walk away. But I'm just going to cover it and let it sit here overnight, if not a couple nights, because I know tomorrow night might be busy. Just kind of cover it so no dust gets on it or whatnot. But I think I'm done for tonight at 7:30. And that's late enough for me anymore. I don't work until 9 or 10 o'clock like I used to. I don't have it in me. I'm back a couple days later. Actually, I just unwrapped it. I had this sitting on my counter. And it's funny, guys, last night or the night before, I was like in bed and I'm thinking, I didn't put the arrowroot powder in there. I'm supposed to put arrowroot powder in there now. So I just did that. We're going to whip this up really quickly and see what happens with the texture. It's definitely set up since last night. I can tell when I just put that in there. It has definitely kind of firmed up a bit. I'm going to start slow. Not slow enough. I should have stirred it maybe. This is more the texture that I got last time. It's still quite soft. It's not soupy like it was. I'm going to do that one more time just to get a little more air in it. I don't think I'm going to get it like aerated, if that makes sense. It's not going to like double in volume. I want to whip it a little bit and make it nice and fluffy. All right, I think I'm good. It has a lovely, lovely texture, guys. I'm so in love with this right now. I don't want it to deflate too much and look half empty. So that's why I kind of pound it down and get any air bubbles out. That is 1.75 ounces. And I'm not going to be able to go any higher than that. I actually like that. I don't know what happened with the video because I was jarring these up. My husband came home. I was yelling at him, you know, from downstairs. You know, I'm not yelling at him. And I just kind of stopped taping. I never did anything again. I just finished jarring and labeling and I was done. And that's been a hot minute ago. But here they are. I do like these jars an awful lot. I have my ingredients on the back. And the only thing is I don't like my labels being this big. So this label is a 2-inch label and it is completely covering the top. I don't like that. The 1.5-inch label, which is what this is, I mean, it just looks dinky on a 2-inch jar. And I really do need a 1.75 label. I am not going to make a special purchase for that though. So here is my little balm tester that I've been playing around with. And I use this all the time, guys. I use this for any sort of irritation, burn. I had a burn. I don't know that it's, I think it's gone. Maybe it was right here. I had a burn on my arm from the heat gun. I put it on there. Chafing, sunburn, face at night. It's just a lovely, lovely product. And I am really happy with where I'm at with my tallow right now. I mean, I finally feel like maybe I'm over the hump of my struggling, because this is the second go with this exact formula that is consistent from the first time I made it. And that is huge for me with this. Huge for me with this. So that makes me super happy. I wish I could ship it in the summer. I will ship it in the winter, but not in the summer. I think I'm going to have a line. I want to do a whole tallow line. I just love this so much. So right now I have lip balms cooling downstairs. And I also want to do a very simplified tallow balm that is more for body and not geared for face. I may leave it unscented. I'm really excited about that. I want to do a tallow soap, the face cream, the body whip, body butter, and the lip balm. And I'm thinking if I can do that before Christmas, I'll have a whole like set, maybe a gift set. Tallow is really caught on lately. People are really starting to understand how good it is for your skin and what it does for your skin. So I'm really excited, and I would like to jump on that bandwagon before it's gone. Like normally I jump on a bandwagon and it's like 3 years past. Guys, that's it for me. Thanks for stopping by and sticking around. If you did, I appreciate that. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, subscribe and comment. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next week.